So this is one right here that I was on the fence about for a little bit. This is the Sideshow Psylocke Premium Format figure. And the reason why I was on the fence was because of the changes in the portraits. It was first released with an initial portrait at San Diego Comic-Con 2018, which I was fine with, but a lot of fans complained about it, so they changed it by New York Comic-Con. And I was also a fan of that one as well, so I really didn't have a problem with either one of them. It would have been kind of nice to see that they gave us both portraits, but that didn't happen. So now they released new images of what it looks like, and I saw the Sideshow unboxing, and I gotta admit, I'm a little bit afraid. So let's unbox and see what it looks like. All right, so here's the styrofoam. I've already cut the seals on everything. You have two layers. The first layer is in this small compartment right here. It looks like it's got the hand holding the sword. You got the psionic blade, and then you got some of her sash there. And it looks like another sword. So that's in the first layer. All right. The layer underneath is the statue itself. So then you got what looks like the base, you got her body, and then you got the portrait. And that's it. Alright, so I was first introduced to Psylocke, aka Betsy Braddock, during the 90s run of the X-Men from Jim Lee's art style, which I fell in love with right away. But you may be surprised to find out that her first appearance was actually in Captain Britain #8, published in December of 1976. She would later don the mantle of Captain Britain in issue number 12, published in December of 1985. Now, she didn't actually get her first US appearance until New Mutants Annual number 2, where she was finally renamed as Psylocke by Mojo. She finally joins the X-Men in X-Men number 213 and adopts the name Psylocke. And just as a second note, this is also the first cameo appearance of Mr. Sinister. But as a character, you don't actually see her use the psychic blade until issue number 257. And that's just a few of the key issues to look out for Psylocke. Now, she's had a couple of on-screen portrayals, most notably by Olivia Munn in the Age of Apocalypse movie. I've always found her to be a very awesome character in the X-Men series, and I obviously need her to complete my X-Men Blue team, so that's why I had to pick her up. Woo! There she is, all put together, the Sideshow Psylocke Premium Format figure. And let's just address the elephant in the room, guys. The portrait really isn't as bad as it looks in the photographs, honestly, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, she isn't the greatest, but she is definitely a lot better looking than she was in those Sideshow images. Now, before you run and go give me a thumbs down and, trash me in the comments, I'm not a huge fan of the portrait. I do agree that I wish they would have done something a little bit different. And for me anyway, I'm a huge fan of Jim Lee, so I kind of wish they would have given us a Jim Lee style portrait. And I don't know what kind of hoops you got to jump through to be able to get that, but I'm hoping that somebody makes a custom one, is because I would so much love that. Everything else about the statue, the way the flow of the statue looks and her posture and all that, I like very much. I just wish that she would have had a different portrait. That's it. So the way you see her right now is the exclusive look for her. This one runs about $590 and was only limited to 600. And as much as people gripe on the way that the portrait looks, it's on the wait list already. And as I'm talking, the collector's edition is almost sold out. So the collector's edition comes with 2 katana blades that you swap this arm out here for. So you can take this arm out right here, pop out, and then you can put the other katana in place. And the cool part about this is that the katanas are metal. See? I think you guys can hear that here. The katanas are real metal, and I think they did a nice job with that. So what do I like and what don't I like about this statue? The things that I like about it. I love that it's simple. It's something easy that I could put in display with other X-Men. It's not going to be very difficult to put in. She's not all that big. So, just so you guys can see, with this particular layout, she is only 12 inches wide. She is about 9 to 10 inches deep. And she stands about 20 to 21 inches tall. And probably a little bit taller when you put the exclusive, which is her psionic blade that you pop in there, and then that'll give her a little bit more height. So very simple to display. This is something you can put inside of a DTOF and it'll fit just fine. I do like the outfit. I feel like it has some comic familiarity, even though it's not comic accurate. It still looks pretty cool. I like that Sideshow gave it a little bit of a twist of their own. So it's something a little bit original, but it also beckons to the comic. So I'm okay with that. The paint looks really good. They did a really nice clean job with the paint lines. I don't see where there's any kind of wayward lines or bleeding anywhere. And even though I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pick this up with the camera, the skin tone is really cool. She actually has like these little freckles in the skin, which I think came out very, very nice. So the things I'm not a big fan of with this piece is, one, she doesn't really fit in with the other new X-Men that are coming out, right? All of the other X-Men are either Sentinel base, or you're going in the Danger Room, or part of the X-Mansion. And Psylocke comes in with a very simple, rounded black base with this psychic stuff going on at the bottom. So the other thing that I'm not particularly a fan about is the way things fit into place. When I put Betsy into the base, it was a little bit of a force. I had to actually exert some force to get her in there. It didn't just slide into place. Now, on the other hand, she really isn't rocking anywhere or anything, so I don't have to worry about her, tipping over. So that's a plus. So I'm not going to take anything against that for the way that went in. So the only other thing though is this right arm, the way it fits up in here. There's kind of a little bit of a gap right here where it meets the upper arm. Another thing that I would like to have seen is if they would have been able to put a little bit of texture work in these black areas just to give us some contrast in the suit. I think that would have set that suit off even more. All right, and lastly, the thing that I'm most not a fan about with this statue is the portrait. But honestly, guys, for real, it doesn't look as bad as it does in the photographs. In the photographs, it looks way worse. Seeing it in person in 3D really gives you a different perspective on it when you do see it. But I do feel that the portrait looks a little bit elongated, so kind of alien in that sense. So that's the thing that I'm not digging the most about it. So now that I have two Psylocke statues in-house, I'm going to do a comparison video showing you guys the differences between this licensed piece versus a custom piece. And you guys can see the differences of what you can get and can't get. And then you guys can make a determination on what you feel is the best one. But overall, I think that this is a pretty awesome piece for the price. It's not as bad as it looked in the pictures. So overall, I'm pretty happy that it's in the house. But I'm curious as always to hear what you guys think. So let me know in the comments.